If you're holding 3,412 XRP right now, you're probably wondering how much that stack could be worth by 2026. Will it stay stuck in the shadows of bigger altcoins? Or will it finally break through and reward the holders who never gave up? One thing is clear. XRP has just entered a new chapter, and with the SEC lawsuit now behind it, the playing field has changed completely. But before we continue with the video, I just want to say, if you're looking for a solid exchange to trade crypto, I personally use WEEX. It's reliable, has deep liquidity, super low fees, and a massive selection of coins. Right now, you can claim up to $30,000 in sign-up bonuses and trade with up to 400x leverage. Best part? No KYC required. Use the link in the description to sign up and claim your bonus today. Now let's dive in. At the time of recording, XRP trades around $3, giving it a market cap near $182 billion. That already makes it one of the largest cryptocurrencies in existence. But what separates XRP from the rest is its mission. It wasn't designed as a store of value or a general-purpose blockchain. It was built specifically for payments. Fast, cheap, and borderless transactions have always been Ripple's goal. And now, with the lawsuit resolved, XRP is free to chase that vision without a cloud hanging overhead. The lawsuit is worth touching on because it shaped XRP's last 5 years. For years, the SEC claimed Ripple illegally sold XRP as an unregistered security. This made U.S. exchanges cautious, froze partnerships, and left investors uncertain. But the legal battle is now over. Ripple agreed to pay a $125 million fine. But most importantly, the court reaffirmed that XRP is not a security when traded on public exchanges. This clarity means that U.S. banks, fintechs, and investors can now engage with Ripple without fear of regulatory fallout. That single decision reopens doors that were locked for half a decade. Now let's talk adoption. Ripple's XRP ledger can settle transactions in about 3 to 5 seconds, with fees as low as fractions of a cent. Compare that to traditional SWIFT transfers, which can take days and cost $30, $50 per payment. This is why RippleNet has attracted interest from over 300 financial institutions worldwide, spanning more than 50 countries. Banks in Asia and the Middle East have been early adopters, with Japan's SBI Holdings, Santander Bank, and remittance services in Mexico and the Philippines already experimenting with Ripple's technology. But here's the kicker. Ripple has also been working with central banks. Multiple pilot programs for CBDCs are being built on the XRP ledger. If even a fraction of these trials go live, XRP could become a settlement asset, not just for banks, but for entire nations. That level of adoption would put XRP into a completely different category from most altcoins. So what could this mean for price? Let's break it down carefully. If XRP moves from $3 to $5, that's a market cap increase from $182 billion to about $300 billion. With that, your 3,412 XRP would be worth $17,060. That's a conservative target, and one many analysts see as realistic if adoption grows steadily. But Ripple has much bigger ambitions. If XRP reaches $10, the market cap climbs to nearly $600 billion. That would make your stack worth $34,120. At this level, XRP would be competing with the largest financial institutions in the world in terms of market size. Now let's stretch the numbers. If XRP hit $15, the market cap would soar to around $900 billion. Your 3,412 XRP would then be worth about $51,180. This kind of valuation would mean that Ripple has not only expanded into banking, but has likely become a key player in CBDCs, tokenized assets, and even global payment infrastructure. Could XRP go even further? Technically, yes. A $20 XRP would put the market cap above $1.2 trillion. That would require near universal adoption, where banks, payment companies, and governments all rely on RippleNet for settlements. While not impossible, this scenario would require Ripple to dominate international finance on a scale we've never seen from a blockchain company. But let's ground this in reality. What risks could stop XRP from reaching these levels? First, competition. Projects like Stellar, XLM, founded by a former Ripple co-founder, are pushing into similar cross-border payment solutions. Traditional fintech giants like PayPal and Visa are also improving instant payment services, which could limit Ripple's growth if banks choose legacy partners instead. Second, usage. Right now, most of XRP's value comes from payments, but Ripple is working to expand XRP's role in tokenized assets, CBDCs, and NFTs. The XRP ledger recently launched smart contract functionality through sidechains, giving developers new tools. If these use cases take off, it could fuel demand for XRP beyond just payments. Third, supply. Unlike Bitcoin, XRP has a large circulating supply, with 100 billion coins ever created and around 55 billion already in circulation. Ripple still holds a significant amount of XRP in escrow, releasing small portions each month. While this prevents flooding the market, it also means Ripple's own selling strategy impacts XRP's price movements. Still, the biggest barrier, the SEC lawsuit, is gone. That opens the floodgates for partnerships that were once put on pause. Already, we're seeing renewed interest from institutional players who previously avoided XRP because of regulatory fears. So what does this mean for your 3,412 XRP? At $5, your stack is worth $17,060. At $10, it's worth $34,120. At $15, it's worth $51,180. At $20, it's worth $68,240. And in a bearish case, if XRP slid back to $2, your stack would still hold $6,824. The range of outcomes is wide, but the most important factor is momentum. XRP is no longer fighting regulators in court. It's free to expand, free to innovate, and free to compete. And investors are noticing. XRP recently overtook Ethereum in trading revenue on Coinbase, proving that traders are rushing back in now that clarity has returned. By 2026, XRP's trajectory will depend on whether Ripple successfully turns partnerships and pilots into real, large-scale adoption. If it does, your 3,412 XRP could realistically be worth anywhere between $17,000 and $50,000, with a chance at even higher valuations if global banking and CBDC adoption accelerates. So the question isn't just how much will XRP be worth by 2026? The real question is whether Ripple can deliver on its promise of transforming global payments. If it can, then XRP might finally step out of the shadows and into the spotlight as one of the most important cryptocurrencies in the world.